Mikado is one of the great pieces. It's one of the big three of Gilbert and Sullivan. When we talk about Gilbert and Sullivan, we always put their names together. It's kind of like Mozart and Da Ponte, the great music inspired by the great lyrics.
The Mikado, Gilbert and Sullivan wrote for their time, so it has a lot of cultural inferences of the time that are, you know, as a child, if you're a child coming to see the Mikado, you will love it because it's fun and it's dancing and it's tunes that are used a lot in commercial work in the United States. So, and it's colorful and the music is lively. However, beneath that, there are layer upon layer upon layer of nuance.
So as far as the music goes, they take a lot of different elements from what they knew, and they created these shows, which was brilliant on Sullivan's part.
Mikado. Well, Mikado, a lot of people claim, and I can understand why, is possibly the world's most popular operetta.
As opposed to most operas where you sing absolutely everything for the entire evening, there are huge dialogue scenes, so it's more like a Broadway musical. In fact, operettas really were the precursor to the Broadway musical, so Gilbert and Sullivan set the tone for what we call musicals now.
What Gilbert and Sullivan have done is they have taken musical forms that are recognizable to frequent opera goers, that they set up these dramatic sort of accompanied recitatives or recitatives, and they do these sort of very bel canto arias that are reminiscent of Verdi and of earlier bel canto like Bellini and Donizetti and even Mozart. And so they take these dramatic forms that are sort of orally recognizable and turn it on its head, sort of as a satire.
But they skewer a lot of grand opera by using snippets from Verdi or a lot of early operas, and a lot of the music is really beautiful, but they use it in a way that can be satire and made fun of while making fun of the situation that the character is in.
Gilbert and Sullivan always poked fun at social mores and social things that were happening at the time. And what one does with Mikado is you can play it straight. You can play it just as GNS, Gilbert and Sullivan, intended it to be, or you can make it a living production and bring it up to date. So you will find a lot of the political jabs, the social jabs, have been updated to the times.
Gilbert and Sullivan always satirized what was going on in their world at that time. And they talk about for instance, Coco, his song of his list people, they're society offenders who should well be underground. Well, that you feel free to update. So, and the Mikado's list of the punishment fits the crime. So you bring in contemporary times, so you can be sort of naughty in that.
But you can push the envelope in its day. They used to push the envelope with patter songs, and they would make them very modern and updated. Even to the night of the performance, they were changing words.
My theory being, if you're going to update it with kind of milquetoast updates, may as well just keep the original, right? The original text was like something like, the nicey price nuisance who just now is rather rife, the judicial humorist, I've got him on the list, which was probably very, very funny in 1870. Not so much to me. Or another one, and the lady from the provinces who dresses like a guy and doesn't think she dances, but would rather like to try. That's a direct reference to a specific person, which it's a clever turn of phrase, but it's less relevant today. So I have updated that to sort of reality TV types that are terribly subpar, with their 10-week wedded bliss, Kardashians on the list, that sort of thing.
It really is a brilliant work of Gilbert and Sullivan. I happen to love Gilbert and Sullivan. I love the rhythm, I love the wit, I think it's timeless. And I have an exceptional cast. I've done it many times, but it always changes a great deal depending on the actors that you're working with.
So the joy of this production is that we've assembled this spectacular cast of people who are real singing actors. So you've got great voices, but also people who really commit, number one, to the text, because you've got to understand every word of Gilbert and Sullivan to get every one of the jokes, and people who are real actors, because there's dialogue.
So this is we have an especially creative group. So we're in the early process now, and we'll see where this is going to go, but it's headed down alleys that I never thought were possible, so I think that's marvelous.
It runs the spectrum, as does the comedy. Awesome. I throw it all against the wall and see what sticks. Excellent. Yes.
3 days from school, oh, we put to school.